In this video, we're going to discuss what science-based lifting is, what it consists of, and what my thoughts on science-based lifting is in general. Let's get started. What do we mean by science-based lifting? Science-based lifting is a lifting method where we use science and the latest research from universities with trained individuals or untrained individuals to determine how we work out and how we plan our workouts. And this includes what exercises to do. This and what we see is that we have loads of famous science-based YouTubers, and the two most common science-based YouTubers are Jeff Nippard and Athleen. I believe I've been watching these guys for quite a while, and I've gathered a lot of information as to what kind of science-based techniques they use and how they use science to with their training plans and how they've been using this to improve their technique. There are many advantages when it comes to science-based lifting. One of the main advantages that comes with science-based lifting is that it's always good to know what the science is behind the most basic exercises. For example, bench press, squats, deadlifts, dips, pull-ups, push-ups, overhead press, and all these exercises that humans have been doing for years and years. It's really useful to know the science behind it. And the most common science that's been used behind these exercises, which are what muscles are trained with these exercises. For example, squats, we know that the squats train the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quadriceps. And this is a part of science, as we know if we want to grow our legs, we must do squats. And also, if we want to grow our shoulders, we want to use a bench press and overhead press. You may be wondering why we need to use shoulders and triceps for the bench press. If you don't know already, bench presses are a compound exercise. A compound exercise is an exercise that uses multiple muscles to do the exercise. For example, the bench press requires primarily the chest, but it also trains the shoulders and the triceps in order for the exercise to be done properly. So what I recommend is that to improve your bench press, you consistently practice the bench press over and over again, strengthening the chest, shoulders, and the triceps. And what I would recommend is that we should use accessory exercises like the overhead press, lateral raises, triceps extensions, dips is a really good exercise as well. And also not to rule out the dumbbell bench press is exactly the same as the bench press, but we're using dumbbells, and dumbbells allow us to use more range of motion, which does make the exercise harder. So what I would say is that the more range of motion you can use for this exercise, and the stronger you get with the dumbbell bench press, which is much harder than the barbell bench press, your barbell bench press will improve due to the improvements in the strength and the mass of the muscles within your pectorals, the deltoids, and the triceps. This, which would then conclude why science-based lifting is really good, especially when you're using evidence that's been backed by trained lifters and what's been proven to work over the years. And we all know that exercise like the deadlifts, bench presses, squats work so well is because, as we've seen from all these years ago, and what exercises bodybuilders have been doing for all these years, which has led to them being so strong. For example, Ronnie Coleman, Mike Mensa, Dorian Yates, Chris Bumstead, and all these bodybuilders, they've done all these exercises, and it's proof here that these exercises, especially compound exercises, I do not sleep on compound exercises, as it's really good if you're on the go or you want to train as many muscles as you can in one exercise. You can use compound exercises only to grow these muscles and make them stronger. And we've seen that through the proof of all these lifters that made fantastic progress with the exercises. And it's also good to know what the difference is between certain types of exercises. For example, we got compound exercises, isolation exercises, and accessory exercises. And what true science-based training is that it helps you program your workouts. For example, if you know science-based lifting very well, you know that we should prioritize compound exercises as these will help us get stronger at make our body stronger. But then compound exercises will also make the isolation exercise much and accessory exercise much easier because as we take priority with compound exercises, we may also make our biceps stronger, our triceps stronger, and all the smaller muscles in our body stronger. Another reason why science-based lifting is really good is because it's good to know what muscles are being trained, and this will take into account what exercises to do. It's good to know what flexion and extension is. So, for example, if you're doing bicep curls, you're flexing the elbow, the biceps, but you're extending the triceps. And if we know this, we will take this into account to know what bicep curls really train and how to structure that exercise into the routine and any splits, for example. So let's say we do push pull legs. We know that to do bicep curls, that would be done in a pull day instead of a push day. As bicep curls, you're required to pull your body up and not push and extend the triceps. In this state of science-based lifting, it's good as it can help you determine how you train and what exercises you include to ensure that the muscles that you want to be trained are trained to failure, and it's much easier to progressively overload if you know the science behind each exercise and why you're doing each exercise the way you're doing to ensure that the technique and strength is there, which will lead to a progression, and you get to experience much better progress and memories within the gym, and everything within fitness becomes much more meaningful. In terms of accessory exercises, we know that they should be parts at the end of each workout as they are not as challenging as compound or isolation exercises. For example, for back days, we can do lat pull downs as they mainly train the back and is limited to a certain range of motions. For example, they can really add volume to the back, but they are not better than pull-ups. And I believe pull-ups, especially weighted pull-ups, are a much better exercise than lat pull downs. So I believe pull-ups should be taken priority as they train multiple muscles, but lat pull downs can be incorporated to increase volume. However, science-based lifting has come with many problems. For example, with the latest research and study from universities such as Harvard, Stanford, and other top institutions, many of these studies that's done by these institutions are done by beginners and so-called experts who've not really been training that hard and don't look super muscular and strong. So these people are not super qualified to do these kinds of research, and these research the research that's been done in these universities can be misleading as they can easily lead to people doing useless exercises that train unnecessary parts of the muscle, which are very obscure, and they can be trained by doing compound movements that humans been doing for years, as loads of scientists and science-based lifters like Jeff Nippard and Athleen, not to shame them as they are very good lifters and their content is fantastic. However, the main problem is that they use the latest research to invent random exercises and new exercises that have not been done in the past and can be misleading as we don't know what the benefits are for these exercises, and are they really that simple to progressively overload? Are they really good for muscular hypertrophy as we've not seen many people do these exercises? And when people overcomplicate how to build muscle strength, fitness and all these kinds of stuff, it can be really annoying and it does overwhelm the average lifter as they have to take into account what the best exercises to do for muscle growth and how to build muscle as loads of people right now, especially with this winter arc coming, which I personally disagree with because winter arc is just a trend in my opinion. These people that jump on the winter arc bandwagon are no better than the new year, new me people as there's no best time to start. It's just in my opinion, just start now and just get on with it. And over time, you will build much better results if you just start and not wait for a certain arc or trend to come out. So I believe science-based lifting can make lifting way too overcomplicated, but it can be good as it's good to know the science behind each lift, but I don't want to overcomplicate anything and make it harder than it already is because we all know building muscle, building strength, as well as good physique is extremely difficult and not everyone is capable of reaching certain heights. And science-based lifting can limit the accessibility for lifters to progress as not every machine is or every exercise is doable in every gym. My general thoughts on science-based lifting are that it's good as it teaches you the basics and tells you what you need to know to increase muscular hypertrophy and determines what exercises you want to do if you want to increase a certain muscle. For example, if you want to increase the size of your back, do pull-ups. As science says, pull-ups train the back and biceps. Therefore, science does help you in that way, but I don't like the fact that science-based lifters use the latest research made by people that don't lift to reinvent the wheel and invent random exercises which take too much time to learn and are not worth doing as they require too many steps and don't teach the fundamentals to be able to make progress and make your gym journey much smoother, which can lead to a decrease in access to lifting for all gym goers, which can be off-putting and can lead to many people quitting as they have to memorize all these fancy scientific terms for lifting, and it leads to lifters being much more overwhelming and not knowing what to do. If you found this video useful, make sure to like, comment and share, and be sure to subscribe for much more free value like this.